So sometimes I feel like I just need to make a guitar. I have a lot of wood and I feel like I need to make something. Usually, however, I make guitars to prove something. I have a theory about something. I have something I want to prove out. I have some ideas that maybe a new bracing pattern, and a lot of them work out really well, and some of them don't. One thing that has worked out really well has been the full lining on sides. It keeps its shape, doesn't move. It becomes like the frame of a piano, which does not move with the sound, at least not very much. And that's turned out to be a positive thing. Reduces the number of wolf notes, loud or small kind of thing. Another thing is making the backs thicker. Same basic concept. Now I'm not doing it like hugely thick, but thick enough to where it doesn't respond really readily to the sounds of the strings and the air. And that also helps reduce the peak that the back produces, that strong harmonic resonance frequency that happens with any plate, back, top, whatever. Now you can't get away with the top. Top's got to vibrate. That's really important. But you don't need the back to vibrate. You don't need the sides to vibrate. You don't need the neck to vibrate. All of those things, very much like a piano. The only thing you really want vibrating is the soundboard. And of course the strings driving the soundboard. Everything else is there to reflect it into the room. Interesting how that works out. I resisted that concept for a long time. I thought the back was really integral to the creation of the sound, and it is. The problem is that it would produce more problems than solutions. And so by making the back, in this case, about 2.8 millimeters, 2.7 millimeters, it's thick enough when braced normally, normal ladder pattern, so that you don't need extra radiating braces to kill anything. It's thick enough to resist it on its own. Now it does actually vibrate some. It's not a completely dead back. I've done completely dead backs, and I didn't really like the sound of them. They sounded a little thin to me. And so this 2.8 on heavy rosewoods, for example, Brazilian rosewood, in this case, what I think is Madagascar rosewood, and African blackwood, for example, definitely adds a little bit of character, but doesn't get that overriding harmonic signature that you can see in a spectrograph, and it doesn't really influence the sound that much, enough to where you can sort of tell. Now the funny thing is that most people can't tell the difference between different backs anyway, so it's really all just visual. You see a nice piece of Brazilian rosewood, for example, like the one over my shoulder, and then you go, oh, Brazilian rosewood. And yeah, it's rare, and it's something that you're not going to see much of anymore, not in new guitars. But it's not really necessary either. It's not necessary for the sound production.